This musician served as the Temptations' musical director for nearly 20 years, traveling all over the world with the best male vocal group in the world. Honestly, this musician is known as the Sixth Temptation. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Cornelius Grant. Now before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more content. Now, without further ado, let's cue that intro. Grant was born April 27, 1943. Similar to numerous members of the Temptations, Grant was born in the southern region, specifically in Fairfield, Texas. Raised by his grandma, who he cherished, things became boring in Fairfield, Texas, the small air town 80 miles south of Dallas where he grew up, and learning the guitar helped to alleviate the boredom. He wanted a piano, but Granny's pockets were not deep enough, so he settled for a guitar. Work in southern Texas was menial, yet profitable. His grandma cleaned houses, ironed, plucked ragweed, and spread manure, so his guitar payments were not a concern. However, learning to play helped. With no teachers available, Grant had to teach himself.
I started my life in music at around 9 years old when my grandmother, in her infinite wisdom, bought me a guitar because I wanted to play piano. And she said, well, son, I can't afford a piano. So I was looking through a Sears and Roebuck catalog, and I saw this guitar for like $13. I was like, So I brought the catalog to my grandmother. I said, listen, can you buy me this? And she immediately filled out the invoice for mailing and ordered the guitar right away.
3 years later, the family moved to the west side of Detroit and his life changed dramatically. He took to Detroit like a baby to ice cream. At 15, he held his own among Detroit's best and the best guitarists who came to the Motor City, despite the fact that he was still a full-time Mumford High student. He performed at clubs, pubs, talent shows, and other functions. Grant needed 9 years to gain significant guitar talents after first picking up the instrument. While performing with the Staccatos, he met Motown producer and songwriter Henry Cosby. Grant met Cosby and worked as a backup guitarist for singer Mary Wells before becoming main guitarist and music conductor for singer Marvin Gaye. It was while working with Wells that Grant met the Temptations. From 1964 to 1982, Grant served as guitar player, musical director, and live show arranger for the Temptations. He also played in Motown studio sessions with the Funk Brothers from 1964 to 1970. Grant used a Gibson Birdland and a Fender Telecaster playing with, or without a pick depending on the desired effect. He created that murderous opening guitar riff on I Know I'm Losing using a Goya acoustic guitar. He wrote the blockbuster with Eddie Holland and Norman Whitfield, and You're My Everything with the late Roger Penzabene and Whitfield. Penzabene, a close friend of Grant's, wrote, I wish it would rain, and I could never love another. Grant experienced a tragedy when his childhood friend Roger Penzabene unalived himself due to him allegedly discovering his wife was having an affair. Grant also wrote, Take Me in Your Arms and Love Me, and Ain't No Sun Since You've Been Gone, performed by Gladys Knight and the Pips. You Got to Earn It, and I Got to Find a Way to Win You Back, performed by the Temptations. And My Weakness Is You, and I Want My Baby Back, performed by Edwin Starr. Lulu recorded Take Me in Your Arms on her To Serve With Love album. Grant also co-wrote I'm More Than Happy I'm Satisfied for Stevie Wonder, and Love and Affection for Marvin Gaye. He was a partner in DOC Productions with Melvin Franklin and Otis Williams. DOC was an acronym for David, Otis, and Cornelius. The company produced Two Act Swiss Movement and Quiet Elegance. Grant's writing technique varied, but he became famous for coming up with stunning riffs. Producer Norman Whitfield heard Grant playing fifths, which became the intro to I Know I'm Losing You. Whitfield developed the chord structure, and Eddie Holland supplied lyrics. Grant played on select Motown studio sessions from 1964 to 1970, including Gladys Knight in the Pitch chart Bustin' I Heard It Through the Grapevine. As a rule, Grant played on all the sessions that featured songs he co-wrote, except one, You Got to Earn It, which Smokey Robinson cut while Grant was on the road with the Temptations. Grant loathed the seclusion of studio work and preferred the feedback and instant gratification of live performances. His travels brought him all over the world, where he performed in front of shouting crowds in the Pacific, Caribbean, Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Tricia Nixon Eisenhower had invited them to the White House as guests. Grant also met Reverend Martin Luther King, Jesse Jackson, Elton John, and the Beatles, and he appeared on numerous television shows. He is the CEO of Siege, an entertainment complex that handles and develops emerging artists. After leaving the Temptations in 1982, Grant began writing for the Hollywood Reporter and Bree magazine. He also co-founded the Siege Company, a production and talent booking firm, with Ruth Atkins Robinson and the Flashback International Production Company in 2011, which launched his online radio show, Flashbacks and New Tracks. Grant founded a number of non-profit organizations, including Stars of Tomorrow, aimed at developing fresh talent and conserving the history of those who have worked in the business. He also founded the School Awards, a pre-Grammy Award presentation that honors underappreciated pioneers in the entertainment industry, and the live weekly comedy show, Do You Think You're Funny?, in West Hollywood, California. Grant teaches guitar at a local college and has authored a book called Cornelius Grant's Guitar for Beginners, which contains an instructional guide to help aspiring guitarists recreate the Motown sound. Now, before we go, I have a question for you all. What is your favorite song that Cornelius Grant played on?